Morning, folks. Morning. Sorry I didn't make it yesterday. As you can hear, still feeling a little bit under the weather here. But going to do my best to stay with you on stream for at least an hour or 90 minutes today. I probably won't make the full time until lunch. Definitely not at full fitness, but I didn't want to leave you guys twice in a row. All right, so hopefully you had a decent day yesterday. Yesterday provided some amazing opportunities, probably the best day of the week if you understood what the market was trying to do. And those in Discord, we went over it all yesterday and last night. So let's start, as we always do, with the higher time frame. Okay, daily. What are we in here? Where is... Oh, this is a weekly. Monday, Tuesday. All right, here's our weekly range. Failed to break out, traded inside, and yesterday starting to break out, starting to possibly reject that key level. So those at weekly models know what we're looking at. All right, if we keep turning back inside, we open up a rotational play if shorts start to cover on a Friday. There is room to go below, right? We're right on, or we're knocking on this daily Bollinger Band, which is starting to expand downward. Remember we said when we're in here, this is squeezing, and at some point, the bulls will start to open up, and a good trend goes between the 5-day and the bulls, and that's what we're in. We're in a very strong trend right now. It hasn't needed to even do a mean reversion yet. It's probably coming soon in the next week or two, I'd say. Where can we drift down to? There's this pool of liquidity here that I'm looking at from October, right down into, I think it's 810. Okay, this pool of liquidity right here towards 810. If we snap that, we start getting very, very weak. What I would say, if we go and zoom out here just for a second, bear with me for a moment, you're going to see what I'm doing. There is a pretty strong trend right here off this pivot from December 2022. All right, first touch, second touch, third touch, we're drifting into it. It will line up almost perfectly with that with that 800. You can see my head's all over the place. With that 19,800. God. The flu drugs are working, clearly, right? So I'm watching confluence into this kind of area right now if we keep drifting. All right, so that's something I'm definitely paying attention to. If we move up time frame now into the hourlies in a strong sell, all right? You had this opportunity in NFP if you were willing to play NFP. Here was your back test. What did we just back test? Where did we break down from yesterday? We talked about this yesterday in Discord. All right, we had one set of buyers, two sets of buyers. Yesterday, we didn't take out Wednesday's low in the morning push, right? And I said to the team, be very, very careful. They've left that liquidity on purpose. They've left that to come back for. So yesterday we did that. Hourly drive up, a bit of a fake out, rebalance here, and slam right back down. What happens at that point? All these buyers get liquidated, don't they? They get liquidated and we drive lower, right? So these buyers become sellers in the market and you can join that market momentum to the downside. The NFP candle just cleared out all the sell stops here, all right, who were basically in from, I guess, yesterday afternoon or close. All right, overnight high, and we drove up and we back tested where those buyers were. All right, this was old support. Remember, this was old support, now become resistance. It's confirmed resistance. This H1 candle closed lower, didn't it? Closed like 200, 300 points lower. Drove up to 270s, and we closed there at 200 points lower. All right, it did a bit of a bigger move, but closed 200 points lower. So the H1 is still in a downtrend. All right, everything is in a downtrend here. All right, so basically a flag there and a breakdown. What do you need to be careful of now? Well, momentum is clearly downside, isn't it? Momentum's downside, but your location is not good, is it? If you are looking to get short down here, you are shorting low of day, low of week, low of month, low of quarter, low of year. That would be the biggest low since October last year. All right, so location isn't great. So if you're going to look for that continuation trade, you want to be careful. You need to make sure that really breaks and comes back and back tests and stays heavy, basically versus 20K. And then you're looking for a 200-point drift down into the 800 zone that we talked about on the daily. It's Friday, all right? It's Friday and it's NFP. What are we actually in if we zoom out? We're kind of in a range, all right? I would say most of this is a range, right? So if we get acceptance beneath this range, if we keep staying heavy versus, let's just call it 200, and then underneath 20,000, there is possible drive lower. If we fail to get acceptance beneath this range and we sort of do a sweep and start to recover above these overnight highs, or even better, above this old supply, right, there is a drive potentially, all right, this is obviously counter trend, back up to the other side of the range. Right, that is a potential move that can set up this morning, potentially. It would require a sweep and a big counter trend squeeze, which is possible on a Friday if they're going to start to recover. I'm just setting you up for possibilities. There's no guarantees in this. If we move up to the 5-minute, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. This needs to extend right and left, as does this one. These are daily levels down here that we talked about in that October low. So yesterday, there's your drive up, failure, and then we left these equal lows, which we swept and drove down lower, all right, creating new lows. Remember, we had unfinished business. We talked about it all week versus this Tuesday low because we hadn't gone into the daily levels. Now we've swept a big pool of daily liquidity. The next pool of daily liquidity starts at this green box and ends at this green box. So what do we now have? We have the NFP levels. You've got to mark out these data levels, these NFP levels. We have an NFP high up here. We drove up and we came all the way back down for NFP low. All right, so any buyer in this market during NFP is now out the money. The possibilities here are to either protect or sweep previous day low and for that turn upside. All right, so like we talked about, either protect or sweep, something like that for that turn upside, or get heavy, reject it, clear rejection for that move back down. Really bullish momentum will either be a counter trend for this rotation up or a base above and go. Any bullish move is counter trend. I cannot say that strong enough, right? If you haven't learned that in this market yet, you're going to learn the hard way. Every pop seems to get heavy, but like I said, your location down here is not ideal. Your momentum is fantastic. The location is not ideal. Right, so we're starting to build out liquidity here pre-market. You can already see this bear flag for the breakdown. If we start reclaiming over this, this can maybe trigger a bit of a squeeze up or up to view up. Right, but really watching these key levels, this green line here, previous day low, that's current low of year, low of week, low of month, low of day, low of quarter. It's low of everything right now. So definitely watching that. VIX, all right, the VIX is still basing out towards the highs, okay? We had a gap down in the VIX this morning on that NFP and we drove all the way back up to 25 and it's just trading sideways around 24.80s right now. This is where it spent most of the time the last few days. If it keeps having acceptance up here and it keeps drifting higher, we're going to have pressure on the market. If, very big if, but if the VIX wants to come back down and back test 23s, right, and maybe even break down under 23 for that move back towards 21s, the market might get some relief. It might get a little bit of relief here. Most of the MAG are trading sideways inside yesterday's range, which is exactly what we're doing. As a reminder, on the daily chart, we are inside yesterday's range. So there are no breakout players in this market right now. But if we have a look at Apple, underneath previous day close, trading back down towards previous day low inside the range. Same story for Microsoft. Inside range, trading back down towards previous day low. Amazon, slightly stronger, but again, inside the range, at the bottom side of the range between PDC, PDL. Same story for the Goog, which is actually trying to hold PDC. So a slight relative strength there, potentially. Meta doing the same thing, PDC to PDL, trading back and forth. A little bit more strength in NVIDIA, which is holding still inside previous day's range at the lows, but above PDC. So a slight gap up there. And Tesla, the weak one, all right, underneath PDC, underneath PDL. All right, so there you go. A bit of a mixed bag here this morning. We just set these charts up. I haven't been on these properly for a day or two. Okay, so that should have us prepared. You know what we're looking for. We're watching, all right, we are watching. Do we stay heavy versus this for this trade down to 950 and then 800? Or Is there some form of sweep and recovery for a trigger back inside today's range and above here? If we base above there, that's very bullish. But really, so far, we're in range rotation, nothing more. Right? There's nothing more right now. We're in a range rotation in a bearish market. We are in range rotation in a bearish market for now while we build out that liquidity on the H1. Remember, your H1 is going to be your best friend today. These are the levels, all right? We either stay heavy under it or we get bullish over it, and in here we rotate between. There you go. Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck on a Friday. Don't let Friday be your worst day of the week. Don't give back your week, all your hard-earned work on a Friday. Don't have a big red tilt day on a Friday, because then you have to deal with that over Saturday and Sunday. We talk about it all the time, right? It's NFP. Your ATR is massive. It remains massive. Your range on the day will probably remain pretty big. Just be smart with your sizing and with your stops, okay? Be smart with it. With that said, let's get through some of these likes. Let's see who's on stream. Good morning, Jeff, Arturo, Exister, Miguel, Trentry, Christy, JD Floridan, Ramus, Dopamine XL, Radar, Vince S, Liron, TR, Jesse, Peter, Marek, Clint, Coop. Thanks, Coop. Minix, Thumper, Array, OMZ, Capt, Idris, Noah, Sloth, Indicator, Stephen W, Omalabi1, Brad, Mr. Slim, Crawford, Julian, Jack, Myron, Phenon. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How many of you had a good day yesterday? Hopefully some of you had a great day yesterday. Right? It offered a fantastic short yesterday if you were patient. If you were patient for that pro trend, and just have a quick look at it all together. If you were patient, right, and you knew that we didn't sweep this green line here, all right, this is the build of liquidity. There's your squeeze up. There's your failed auction. There's your head and shoulder. There's your bear flag. There's your continuation. There's your continuation. There's your continuation. Back for IBL. Comes down. Retest. Stay heavy versus IBL. And where do we go? We go for new lows. All right. And we came and sweeped these daily pull down here. So it offered so many trades. I actually managed to get one tiny little trade. I say tiny. It was about 100 points. Right here. All right. I was late. It was the only trade I took yesterday because I was ill in bed. But once we'd rejected, once, twice, stayed heavy, created that bear flag. That was a nice, easy trade for me when I'm not feeling well. Okay, so into the open, here we go. Market just open. Ding, 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 ding. Bell going. No rush here at the open. Let's just see what it wants to do. Have a quick look at the liquidity on the book. What are we looking like? Put my glasses on here. Oh, wrong chart. Sorry. There we go. We'll go through that again shortly. Liquidity on the book. Let's have a look. 19,950. We've got a buy order down there, resting buy order of 120. And the biggest sell order I can see on the book is all the way up at 350 right now. In between that, there's a bit of fluff. Some sort of 15, 20, 25, 30 lots sort of scattered around. Let's just see what the market does here. All right, so morning drive up. Remember, this is the gap fill. Will be PDC, that yellow line on your chart. That will be closing the gap. That would be an efficient market. SPY opening up right at its 200-day SMA, by the way. Big level there on the SPY. Oh, Malabi, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm not feeling 100%, so it would be a shorter day. I don't even know if I'll execute a trade, to be honest, but I didn't want to leave you guys for 2 days in a row. Let's make sure. I don't think this is in the right position. Oh, it is in the right position. Okay, I must have done that early this morning. Don't even remember doing it. So coming up to close the chart and back test that previous day point of control. All right, if we start getting through this, might offer a trade up into here. But so far, you are in bearish continuation in this session. All right, we did leave that NFP data high. If it wants to get going, there is a chance for it to get all the way up there today. Oh my gosh. Chest feeling heavy. Okay. Just letting this settle down. and let's see what it wants to do. Remember, we are trading into and around those hourly lows where we were yesterday, this blue box. Once we get through there, there is room to start moving down into daily levels. If we don't get through there, there is that counter trend play all the way back upside possible. We're still in a downtrend flow zone, still in a sell. All right, nothing yet bullish in this market telling me we're ready to go upside, but let's just wait and see. A little bit whippy, a little bit wicky. So yeah, NVIDIA relative strength. NVIDIA green on the session, over 1% up. Everything else red in this market. Selling those job numbers after that initial pump. Really, I'm more interested in this market if we can come and sweep. I would like to see us trade down into here, all right, and then make a decision, because then if we turn, then I know shorts are stuck, and if we stay heavy, then I know there's a trade downside. I don't really want us to just turn and start going without taking anything out, all right? But market would do what it wants, like we've seen all week. Amount of times it's left resting liquidity to come back for it later in the day. Yesterday was a prime example of that. Okay, so initiating a bit of a squeeze here. I'm not in this. I'm just saying it's starting to try and initiate a squeeze back to PDC and POC. So previous day close, yellow line. Previous day point of control, orange line. It's coming to back test those levels right now to see if sellers still remain in the market there. Coming up to view up here on the SPY and the ES. So SPY trying to get a close on a 5-minute back over its 200-day moving average. It's sold under that yesterday. Remember, long-term investors, that is a big, big level for them, that 200-day moving average. We start to see some tapering here. Remember, we've been a strong trend, starting to go sideways, starting to go sideways, starting to go sideways. This is the box that we're going to be in. We can wait for this move or this move at that point, or a fake out or a fake out. So far, it looks good for that move up towards view up here on the ES and the SPY. That's what it's trying to do. It wants to back test its view up. So ES now has closed the gap as well. Turn that down a bit. Not through the view up yet. SPY coming up short there. Just trying to get to its view up. Market trying to go green here. MAG trying to go green here. Maybe a bit of a counter trend move up this morning. All the way up towards the view up. So starting to clear out some of these levels, starting to reclaim. ES to its view up right now. SPY also tapping its view up right now. NQ lagging behind a bit. QQQ is actually already through its view up. So decent squeeze here this morning for that counter trend move. Again, left that resting liquidity at the low of day and previous day low. Not ideal what you want to see when you're looking for those counter trends. But it's been very common this week. It's been the theme of the week. The opening drives left liquidity lower, driven up, and then at some point come back for it. So rejecting view up here on the ES and the SPY. QQQ back under it. Like I said, not in anything. I'm definitely not in a hurry today. I'm probably not even feeling 70% better yet. So let's just see here. Remember, lots of resting liquidity down here. Here and here. So if we start to flip these flow zones, maybe an early indication, but really, like I said, I would much rather see it come and sweep all that liquidity before I think about doing anything. So there you go. That was a big rejection, wasn't it? Look at the size of this candle. Think about your ATR. This is no joke here. We've already traded 50 points in this candle, 60 points now. Lots of time left if it wants to keep going lower. Back to the opening print on the day. Nasty, nasty, nasty moves here. All right, like I said, it left resting liquidity lower. It can keep drifting lower if it wants. If it wants to protect, it will protect. If it wants to drift lower and go for those low as it can. It's nasty, nasty, nasty. Back to that 9:30 opening print here. Sorry, I haven't got it marked out on your screen. It's on my Ninja Trader right now. I will move it shortly. Let's put it in. Here we go. So trading through that now. It's probably going to come back for, or try to get back to yesterday's low of day. Like we said, it left resting liquidity there. ES is the stronger one out of the two. That's the only thing that might stop it doing it. Remember, we're at the bottom of a range here as well. It's like kind of ugly, isn't it? Kind of ugly. ES trying to find a pivot bid underneath. Oh, God, I really am not well. On top of that level this morning from 22. So here we go. Market trying to find a new bid here. Just in that internal range. Back up to PDC. Very, very strong on the SPY by comparison. I would not trust a thing right here. Very strong on the SPY. Very, very, very strong push. So finding a bid on that New York Open so far. All the way back down. Repricing that last candle. Oh, you got to laugh. Do they pivot and hold now? Rhythmic laggy, is it? Well, sorry to hear that. That's not what you want on a Friday. Definitely not what you want on a Friday, is it? So mixed bag here on the mag. Tesla up. Nvidia up. Apple up. Meta down. Google down. Amazon down. Microsoft down. Complete mixed bag. What's the VIX doing? VIX having a drive back upside here. Trying to hold its range. Struggling a little bit. No breakout, but just trading sideways. Most of the market in a tight range this morning. 100-point range from the opening drive. That's what you're in this morning. Watching to see if this market's going to try and get going towards view up here for the Qs. Looking good for it. Looking good for it. Bang. So I took that trade. Locking in $3,000 there across 3 accounts. So once we held, squeeze up to view up. I'm out of that now. We might get going here. If shorts got trapped at these lows, ooh, baby. It has a chance to go all the way back up for this NFP candle. All right, so there's your break of the downtrend. Here's the tapering we talked about. To be very careful. Like I always say, I would have much preferred it did this first, but this NQ this week has got a habit of doing this, right? It has a really nasty habit this week that is starting to build in of not taking levels, going up first, messing around, and then coming back for them later in the day. So once we put in this here and rebalanced what you ICT traders would call a BPR, I'm just looking at this old resistance, inversion, quick squeeze up and out. So already out. That was like a scalp, but worked nicely. Now just waiting. I'm going to let it build out liquidity. We're inside. You've got an inside bar here. You're an inside day, inside the hourly. I tell you what, though, this hourly bar has the chance to be really nasty. Looking at this hourly bar, what we have done on this hourly bar is sweep the old hourly low into old demand. If we get a close back up here, oh my gosh, right? It is possible. I've seen weirder things. If we start getting above sort of the 200s and we can build this hourly bar to come and go for NFP highs, then everyone who's short in here is going to get cooked this morning. It all depends The higher time frame is still in a sell, but we're on a Friday. Shorts have been in the money for what, 10, 11, 12 days now? Do we get a short covering rally in a Friday? That's what I'd be asking. Here we go. So reclaiming VWAP. There's your downtrend. There's your tapering. There's your little pivot up into here. Question is, how high can we go? MAG's starting to all go green now. The only one lagging right now is Microsoft. We are in a squeeze here, folks, for sure. All right, so I'm waiting to see if there's an opportunity or a way of joining this. Nate the Great, it's all it is just playing that rotation and not having you cannot have hesitation in this market, all right? It was very, very quick. Here, after holding pivot, here's your BPR, big sell down, big push up, pull back in, hold. I know shorts are trapped under here, long in here for a move to there. So it wasn't that long in the trade, 40, 50 points in 1 minute. And then I took it because I'm not feeling well. I'm not looking to hold on to much today. And there's a good chance I get things wrong today if I'm not feeling well. Or that's what's in my head anyway. Ninja rhythmic lag is the norm anymore. Yeah, it's one of the reasons I moved away from rhythmic. I really like Tradeovate now. All right, Ninja bought Tradeovate. Now you can trade. It's going to keep going upside here, folks. This is the target. If you're still in this long, we would like to see some form of pullback and trend continuation, and then you've got a shot up at that NFP high, all right? If we can get some form of pullback and trend continuation inside this range, all right, ideally something back to hold, show me some bullish structure. I don't really want it to keep going without me because I probably had the best entry of the day, and I might miss it. So watching to see how we operate here. If it gives a chance of a pullback here, ES and SPY very, very, very strong. All right, very strong. Here they go. Market just in straight squeeze mode. Shorts are getting absolutely cooked here as the VIX starts to trade downside. Oh, Alex, if you're feeling well, you've got to wonder what you would have made on the day. But hey, so coming back up towards that 200 level. Remember, this sort of red zone up here, you want this NFP high here. If we can build some liquidity out and drive up towards this, I'd be taking partial there. At this point, if it wants to rotate, it will. If it's able to get above and start to base, this was going to look very bullish, as is a base around here. All right, if we get above here on an hourly and here on an hourly, all right, let me just, oh, you are on the hourly chart. What am I doing? This level here, all right, is absolutely key. Can we get above that level on an hourly? Above here and base for a drive up. Take the liquidity, and then it either holds or it fails and it rotates. So far, looking good. It's holding VWAP for you. You want to see this build out some form of bullish structure. All right, maybe a 2-leg, something like that would be very, very nice. Yes, sorry, let's go back to, who was it that was talking? Bullwinkle. The main reason I moved away from Rhythmic is once Ninja Trader bought Tradeovate, it means you can trade online now on the Tradeovate platform like web-based. So if you're traveling, you can easily log in and trade. You can link it to your trading view and trade on there, and you can trade on things like Ninja Trader and Quant Tower direct with Tradeovate. So I just think it's the better option right now in terms of service providers. Personally, that's my personal preference. I was actually thinking about doing a video on it at the weekend. All right, so this is looking very, very good here on the M5 and the M15. That last M15 candle, huge. Oh, the first one of the day, huge. Big old drive up. Big old drive up on the M15. So liquidity on the book up at 350 right now. They're trying to allow this market to squeeze higher. They're saying, come on, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going for that NFP. That's what the market's trying to do or wants to do right now. Can we build out some liquidity here? We keep rejecting. All right, we keep rejecting on where all the volume was created. Overnight, this is a big level. Like we said, if we can get over this and hold, then we've got a great chance of a close above. But this is the top of the range. Remember this morning we talked about the range on the chart. This is the top of the range. Where do you not want to get short? Bottom of the range. We were only going to get short if we broke down and rejected. We held, we trade to the top of the range. Now we either get above and hold for an NFP move, and then if we get through there, we're going to come for these hourly highs all the way up here, or we're going to do a sweep and come back down to the bottom of the range. Those are the trades setting up for the rest of the day. We're an inside bar, we're in range rotation, but you are overall in a bearish market that needs a little bit of relief. So if you're in this for this bull flag, you're looking very, very good here. Versus VWAP. All right, you're looking good here. Just remember, keep watching the higher time frame charts. You're coming into big hourly levels here. If you need to, you can take a partial. If you get through that, you can keep going through. Why don't I trade Ninja Trader on TradingView? Why would I do that when I can execute on Ninja Trader really, really fast, direct access? No reason to do that. I love my Ninja Trader. Feel very comfortable trading on Ninja Trader. Nice, Peter. Yeah, so just remember, watch that H1. But if this H1 reprices that whole last H1 pin bar, oh, I would not want to be a short at that point. Looking really good here, folks. You're looking really good. Look at this continuation driving up. It's going for that NFP high. Here's your bull flag. It's going for this high. So hold on. Try and get some money off into this high. And then if you get really lucky, if we get a massive short covering rally, you can get a move all the way up here, which would offer you what? If you're in from 150 and you can get up into the sort of 450, 500s, that is a monster move. Even with a little micro, it's going to pay you a lot of money. So try and hold a runner if it allows you to do so. Looking good, folks. Looking good. Here it goes. So coming into that supply now. All right, we're coming into that supply. Big H1 level. This bar looks fantastic. Looks great, folks. So you should already be up 40, 50 points in this move already. All right, from this bullish continuation structure. Nothing wrong with taking a partial into these levels. And then you want to get up there into the NFP high. That's where you want to try and get to if it will allow it to do so. Remember, we're watching that H1 level. I would say 20,227 looks like a big old level there. Didn't quite get it, but we got very close. Right, big old level, because if we ignore the NFP, it's really overnight high. All right. So partial into that, partial into this, and then hold for that. And then if it fails, then we're going to go back short for the move back downside. But you look good. You look really, really good here. I want to see lots of W's in chat when this is done. Peter, yeah, one runner left. Julian, I think that's good trading. If a script's acting up, nothing wrong with closing long. You would have heard me talk about it all the time. When I have things like anything go wrong, if I fat finger into a trade, if I can't move my stop, if I get any error message, first thing I do is close a trade. All right, our job when trading is really to be risk managers. So if something's not working properly on the screen, if you get any error message, the best way to manage that risk is just to take it off. So I think you've done the right thing there. So Coop with the winner, Clint with the winner, Peter with the winner, Andrew G with the winner, Jesse with the winner. Andrew, yeah, I'm nowhere near 100%, but I didn't want to miss another day on stream. Look at every single pullback is holding. Just be careful now as we start to build out liquidity like this. This, remember, when you start having strong trend like this, you want to be careful. All right, your entry was down here, so you look good. But at some point, it might come and wash these guys out, all right, if it keeps holding this strong trend. But it is a strong channel right now. I don't like that when I'm a bull because I know it can easily come and take them out first. What you want to see is momentum being built this way, just like we do here for the downtrend. Down, down. What you don't want is something doing straight down like that, which is what we're kind of doing to the upside. But you still look good. Just keep holding on. You know the target. The target is very obvious, isn't it? It's telling you its target. Hey, I'm right here. This is where all the short stops are. Let's come and take me out. It's what the market wants to do. It wants to get up into there. 8 minutes left until a new hourly bar. So ideally, it does it before the new hourly bar. You look so good here, folks. Bang. There's your 220s, 225s being taken out. That's the big H1 level. All right, so if we can keep squeezing now, without a doubt, we're going up for that NFP. Look at you all getting it. Lovely. Umalabi with it. Leron, Capt, and Arturo. Just keep holding on here. Hold a runner. I think if I was feeling full fitness, I might be looking to hold a runner all day. Could be one of those days. We know Fridays can love to trend. If we are going to get a short covering rally on a Friday, imagine you were short the last 2 weeks, coming into a weekend, all these unknowns, you're probably up. I don't know how many thousands of points you'd be up if you took a short from the last few weeks. You'd be up over 2,000 points. You might think about closing some of that position off. Here we go. So driving up, it wants to go for that NFP, right? That NFP candle high. It's the white line right here. It's where it wants to get to if it can. Just remember, when we got there, we found sellers. Why did we find sellers? That was your SBR level, all right? Right here. We went over it pre-market. Support, support, support became resistance, resistance. So respect this when we trade into it, okay? Don't be buying into this. You respect that. If we can get above it and hold, we turn it back into support. We go for these guys. Hopefully that makes sense to everyone. Everyone who trades with me regularly should understand. Peter saying, if he doesn't do it before the new hour, then you're out. Yeah, I understand that. You got 6 minutes. It looks like it's going to do it. It looks like it really is in a hurry to do it right now. So 6 minutes until a new hourly bar and 4 hour bar. I'm starting to wonder if what I got is COVID, you know. I had very, very itchy, very lethargic, major sweats, and now my chest feels a little bit weird. Thumper W, finally patient enough to hold an extra runner. Bang! High five that, mate. Nice work. I know that's something you've been looking to improve on. Great work. Yeah, exactly. Exactly like Coop said. Great work, ladies and gentlemen. What do we not do in this room? We do not get short. We don't get short and stuck in the holes, do we? We do not short in demand. We do not short when we're starting to taper. We do not short at low of day, low of week, low of month, low of year. That is how you get absolutely cooked. Same. This is exactly what happened yesterday. What happened yesterday at the open? Yesterday at the open, this was low of day, previous day low. Everyone got short down here, trying to get down to there, and we went upside. And once we'd got upside, we trapped bulls, and then what? We came back for it, okay? We came back for it. So very, very similar. Understanding SBR, RBS, supply and demand. Don't get short into demand. You're asking to get slapped. All those guys who couldn't see quite simply that this was a pivot are now in pain, aren't they? And we're using their pain to get up into here. That's what we're using their pain for. As shorts start to cover, right, they buy back the market and we drift higher, and this is the target. This is where we want to get to. You've got 4 minutes left until that new H4 and H1 bar. This H1 bar, like I said, oh, right? When you get a pin bar like this, followed by an engulfer, because we've engulfed this side, if we can close above this, oh my gosh, that is not what you want to see as a short seller up here. If this H1 bar closes above this, this is not, that would not make me comfortable for the rest of the day if I was a short seller. So finding some resistance up here, some supply. Remember, the strong trend line, like I said, be careful because we can come back and shoot all that up and then go for this later, all right? Because of the way we built that liquidity. We built it straight upside, like we talked about. Very easy when we do this, trend line liquidity, we can come and take out these guys, build liquidity here, build liquidity here, and come back for it later. So selling into that H1 level. It's the same level. Hopefully it still goes up there for you, but you should have been paying yourself along the way. This is why we pay ourselves. We're going to look now for a right shoulder to be built, something like this, and then a microstructure in here will allow that move. Failure to build a right shoulder or anything above this opens the door up for that rotation. Ideally, we'd like to see it go back for that high. Sorry, folks. I bet those coughs are loud and not very nice on stream. Peter saying, out now, protecting profit. May get back in if it sets up. And Coop saying, killer week. Thanks, Alex. I'm going to log off and get back to work. Hopefully you're back 100% soon. Much love, mate. Yeah. A special thanks to Coop, who every time I'm ill or away, looks after all you folks, especially everyone in the Discord. He's my right-hand man, and has been for many, many years now, always looking after you all. So I really appreciate you, Coop. Thank you. Means a lot. Means a lot to have friends and community and support like that who can step in and support everyone. And I bet everyone else in the stream or definitely in Discord is very thankful for you as well. So we appreciate you, Coop. Have a great weekend with the family. Okay, what you got to be careful of here is this kill candle. Decent volume. They might try and do a 2-leg, all right? And then we're going to see if it offers something back upside. But this was decent volume, not buying into that. Once you see that big candle come in, big candle, reprice in, might do second leg down somewhere into here. Then if it can hold it, it can do this move. If it fails to hold these levels, then we're just going to go back on a rotation. You can just bear with me, folks. I'm just going to get another hot drink. My chest's starting to seize up a bit here. Be right back. Oh my gosh, sorry folks. Doing my best here, doing the best I can. All right, back to view up here. Back to the deep pullback flow zones. Where did we break? All right, where is our lower time frame? RBS, this is our RBS level lower time frame. Don't like this close on the H1 though, I will say. It's a bit of an ugly close, but as long as it stays above 28-ish, it's got potential on an H1 to build something out. All right, to build something here. If it keeps failing though, this is a big level down here. So right into that red box, you notice, came right into that red box. This red box, remember, is the higher time frame SBR. SBR, look at this rotation. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Where's that SBR from? From here. All right, this is old support. All right, this was support, would become S. This was our support. That became, once we broke through, became resistance, 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 resistance. All right, so SBR. We have to see what we do now. Let's just let this shake out. So nice squeeze up, all the way back up, back down to this RBS level. Previous day point of control, previous day close. Remember, this is where we broke out from. If we think about this, what caused the short squeeze? It was the break from here. Now we just wait. All right, we just wait, folks. Failure to get up there is kind of ugly, to be honest. To leave that NFP, not a good look. Not a good look, but we're coming back to some key areas here. The inner cell. Remember, new 4-hour, new hourly candle. We can have a look at this 4-hour candle and think about what this is going to look like. We maintain just in range on an hourly, and the same on a 4-hour. Let's just take this off for a second. All right, so 4-hour, still on a downtrend, but this is most of the range. This is where we don't want to get chopped in between. If we can get above this and acceptance above this, we can go. If we get acceptance below this, we can go. Then you've got failures either side of it. So honestly, I think we've had the best trade of the day so far. We have been and got it. Now we just wait to see how we build liquidity. Remember, Freaky Friday, NFP. No need to force something, right? No need to force something. But finding a bid here off previous day close, the yellow line, and off the RBS level. Okay, this is a back test. Remember, this was straight squeeze up. We talked about it. This is not how you want to see bullish momentum built, right? You would want to see it being built like this, which offered this trade back down, right? And if they trap here and build liquidity here, that will offer the trade back up. We'll use their stops to get back up. It can also trade up here, find failure, and come all the way back down for this low. Because, why do I say it can do that? Because we left resting liquidity. Like I said at the beginning of the day, the easier or the better bullish move, right, would have been if we opened up and we took the resting liquidity and then did this move, right? Then we'd have no potential draw of liquidity here. So I'd know, okay, there's no draw of liquidity here. The only liquidity left is upside. And that would have meant this move here becomes 99% probable. At the moment, the only issue we have NFP liquidity here, but we have also resting liquidity here from yesterday and today. All right, so bulls are in here right now. Very easy if this market wants to come and take them out, which is what you saw yesterday. Yesterday, like we just talked about, you saw this same move. We didn't sweep previous day low. Remember, green line is previous day low. Yesterday, we did this move all the way up, and we did head and shoulders, and then we came all the way back for it and continued down for the day. All right, that's what we did yesterday. So understanding where the liquidity is key. Right now, at this point, I felt confident for a drive up. Once we started failing that, you have to be risk off. We're now mid-range, aren't we? If we think about this to here, that's probably about 50% of the range right now. There you go, 50%, bang on. So we're mid-range right now. So you got 50% chance right now of trading upside to the NFP, 50% chance of coming down here. But momentum from here got taken out, didn't it? So if they create a lower high, we're going to go down here. If we're able to squeeze all the way back up here and build this out, then we're going to do this move and come for that unfinished business. All right, that's what you're looking at the moment. Those are the two plays that are setting up. I know, Peter, it is not a nice habit, is it? If that's going to be the signature for the next 4 years with Trump, it's going to make our life a little bit harder with exactly what I talked about in Discord yesterday. It has got a nasty, nasty habit. The first message I left my Discord on voice note yesterday was telling them when we were driving higher, don't get tricked into thinking we're going to protect that previous day low. All right, it left it for a reason. It got close and left it for a reason. It's always to give a false sense of security. That the question is always like, when do we come back for it? Do we come back for it in the same session, or do we leave it for like an overnight session? I know I don't need to tell you all this. I'm sure you are well aware, very proficient trader, but just speaking out loud. Looks like NT has a problem. Ninja Trader, really? Julian, I like that. Wake up and Google. Trump changes the course as part of my trading routine now. Yeah, I mean, it's becoming a little bit hilarious, isn't it? Like, it is becoming a bit stupid now. Let's be honest. It's starting to become a little bit of the laughing stock. Like, I understand why a tariff's on, a tariff's off. Tariffs are on, tariffs are off. Reciprocal tariffs are on, now they're off again. Like, the reason for it is I think it's all like smoke and mirrors. He'll be negotiating for something else using the tariffs as a leverage. But as a market, we have to price it in. So if he's changing, imagine the Fed came out and said, hey, we're doing a half basis point cut. And then the next morning went, just kidding. We're actually going to do a hike. We're going to do a 1 point hike. That's what we're having to price in. We're having to price it in constantly. That's why we've got this extra volatility in the market right now. Really, really hard. Got booted and cannot log into the desktop or web version. All right, well, that's interesting, Xista. Yesterday, all right, I had to delete my Ninja Trader yesterday afternoon, and Coop had to help me do it and do the whole thing over again. Now, I think it was because of OneDrive from Microsoft, but I did email Ninja Trader, and Ryan came back and told me that there was nothing that they knew going wrong with it. So I don't know. That is a little bit eerie. I'm sorry to hear that. Derek saying he's also heard Tradeovate issues this morning. All right, well, that tells me I'm not taking another trade, because if I'm not feeling 100%, Tradeify and all prop firms are aware. All right, thank you, folks. So there you go. Everyone, if you didn't know, everyone in chat helping you out, okay? Tradeovate apparently, and NinjaTrader has an issue this morning. There must be some sort of data issues this morning. So what I would say, if you had a red trade because of data issues, it needs to be because of data issues. Timestamp it, take a screenshot, record it, whatever you need to do. Send that in to your firm, whether that be Apex, Tradeify, whoever it is. I'm sure they will rectify it if there is an outage, which it seems like there is. But just be careful, all right? Don't be trading. Our job's to manage risk, like we talked about this morning. If there's an issue with how we're trading because of things outside of our control, and it looks like we're going to do that inverted head and shoulder, then we have to be careful. All right, so here was the wash of this trend line. All right, we talked about this. There's the wash of the trend line. There's the liquidity starting to be built. If we built up here, we're going to go for this NFP high. All right. I have no confidence in taking this now because you've all told me Tradeovate's down. So I don't want to give back my day. I only traded 3 linked accounts today, but in full figures in each of those 3 accounts. So I don't really want to give it back. That's a solid Friday for me to go back to sleep. Douglas saying he's on the web version, no problem. Idris saying yes, this morning NinjaTrader was giving me login problems too. That means I deleted NinjaTrader and rebuilt the whole thing for no reason. Peter Curry, OneDrive is the first thing I delete when setting up a new computer. Yeah, I took it off yesterday. I did. I'm going to be honest. I'm not the most tech savvy. I didn't know it was doing anything. I always have it turned off, but I actually deleted it from my computer entirely yesterday because it was frustrating. I tried to copy and paste my old, I don't know if you've ever had to reinstall NT8, but I tried to copy and paste the folders over, and OneDrive must have deleted or corrupted something in there, so I had to redo everything from scratch. It was a nightmare. It wasn't fun. So Miguel saying this is from Tradeify. We are aware of login issues to Tradeovate with us and other firms. Currently, we've reported it to NinjaTrader Tradeovate already. We have an update shortly. I wonder if I got hit with that before everyone else. Please do not submit tickets regarding this. We are actively working to answer for you. Yeah, well, what a nightmare. What a nightmare on NT. Sorry to hear that. Do you know what, Peter? It's funny you said that. It's exactly what I said to Coop. We did a voice chat call yesterday because he's very good on the computer to help me. And I said to him, I think I've got a virus and my computer's called it off me. So we did a screen share. We tried absolutely everything. And in the end, I had to reinstall everything from scratch. Which, do you know what? It actually feels all right because I was having some lag issues before. So it's probably cleared a lot of the cache out. You know, all my old entries. And I don't know what I've changed, but it looks better. I feel like I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, yeah, this looks good. I really like how I've got it laid out right now. I really like how I've got my hourly charts and my 15-minute charts where I can see I can show you what my NinjaTrader looks like, basically like this. I really like the layout. I can see all my old IBs, all my old Asia Londons. It's just nice and clean. Definitely building liquidity here. It's trying to build that right shoulder to go higher, folks. That's what it's trying to build right now. Trying to build that right shoulder to go higher. All the time it's holding VWAP's got the chance to do it. If we start failing, the only thing you've got to be careful of is if this is the lower high to come back down. If we had already taken this, I'd feel 90% confident of going up rather than probably 60. If we'd already taken previous day low and we're doing this, I'd feel much more confident we're going up. I still feel fairly confident, but I don't like that we've left that PDL. All right, that's the only thing. As a reminder, you're trading inside range right now. All right, inside daily range, inside the initial balance range, inside the overnight range. You are inside range. I hope none of you get this bug, whatever it is. It's not fun. Yeah, exactly, Peter. Me too, my friend. Me too. Don't like the way it's left it both sides. Definitely do not like that. Can go for either one. Idris, sorry to hear that, mate. Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it? There's nothing wrong with being nothing wrong. I've got to have COVID. My brain is not working. There's nothing nice about being sick. Remember as a kid, you're like, oh, I'll take a sick day, or like, I don't feel well. I want to stay home. There's nothing I hate more. I just want to get to work and feel good. All right. Market feels a bit heavy here. Not liking what I'm looking at here. Not in anything, just saying, not liking it. What I don't like is that they left that resting liquidity. It's almost one of those, if you're going to join, you want to join even later than normal. You want to be really, really certain, which means you're going to get a worse price. Have you got the same thing as me, Idris? Does it feel like a viral type thing? Not fun. Not fun, not fun. I've got a couple nice bottles, but I haven't had a drink now since New Year's Eve. Oh, it's the worst. I had to take my dog out yesterday. I was looking for my car keys for about 50 minutes. I know exactly what you mean. You just can't think. That's why I was a bit concerned coming to the charts today. You can hear, like, my brain can't get normal words out. It's weird that, isn't it? All right, so this is what our concern was. If they set the lower high here, if we get a break of structure down here, where are we going to go for? We're going to go for these lows and these lows. This was the only thing. If we'd already swept these, I'd be way more confident of this drive. It should have done it here, but it didn't. If we start breaking down, we can come into these. I'm not going to take the short, though, because we're in the middle of the market. And also, you guys are all saying Trade of 8 Ninja Traders acting up. So I don't want to do anything like that. Thanks, Idris. Yeah, the worry always is if I let you guys down from not feeling well, I'd never forgive myself. So, but I don't think I'll be on for too much longer. I don't think I'll make it till lunch today. I think if I do that, I'll probably push myself a little too hard. Still got to take my dog out for the walk in the morning. And then I can recover this weekend. My wife's back on Sunday, which means back to normal next week. So if I'm feeling fit next week, I don't need to stress about the morning walk with my dog at 5 a.m. I'll be watching, yeah, exactly, Luna. She's fast asleep in my bed. She hasn't even come and said hello yet this morning. That's how early it is. And then rugby all weekend. What a weekend of rugby. So, big game I'm going to be watching is France and Ireland. Huge game. I fancy France, I'm going to be honest. Fancy France to turn it on this weekend. Should be good for England if they do. If keeps the championship open. If England are actually going to decide to play some rugby for once. And actually try and score some points instead of this negative play we've seen recently. Come on, the Irish. The proud 4 provinces of Ireland. I do love Ireland. I just got a funny feeling the French might turn it on. Marek, thank you so much. You're so kind. Every week you give me that little super chat. It means a lot. Thank you, my friend. Nice Trentry. So this looks like it's going to come for those lows now, doesn't it? It's getting very, very, very weak. Market's starting to rotate and sell off here. All right, so problem was it didn't get all the way up here and it sold into this big kill candle. Break of structure here. All right, and then we can go for this, this, and this. Where it really wants to get to is here, and if it stays heavy, go all the way down here. You wouldn't want to be short down here where we are now, though. This is where we found buyers earlier. It's making it tricky. It's definitely making this tricky. No more trades for you today. Well, Trentry, sounds like you had a decent day. Hopefully you had a decent week. So it's a great way to leave a Friday, isn't it? Just to make some money, get off the charts early, and go and enjoy your weekend. For me, it's the best way to leave a Friday. When we have those nice Fridays which trend, it's nice when you can just lock in some good money, leave a runner on, move your stop into the money, and just leave the chart. And then you come back at the end of the day and you've either hit your target or you've knocked in a little bit more and it's hit your stop, but you can just leave. It's really now starting to break down now. This is starting to break down now. VIX's starting to get like a decent bounce there off old support. We're going for those previous day lows now. This is ugly, 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 ugly. Think about the H1. It had a chance to close high and it didn't. Those last 5-10 minutes, where is it? Here, last 5-10 minutes was a big difference. We closed down here on the H1 instead of closing up here. Right, big difference. Like Peter said, he needed it to take out this before the H1 closes. It's for that reason that the H1's allowing this possibility right now. Right, we can come back for this and lower now if it really wants to. It is ugly. You remain in a range. Just going to remind you that. Blue box to red box, you remain in a range. Outside of the range, you have breakouts and failed breakouts. That's what you can look at. We beat France. The Grand Slam is on against Italy. Come on, Ireland. True. Very true. It'd be one reason I'd like Ireland to do it, right, would be so that someone like Peter Armani can retire after winning another Grand Slam. I think that would be really nice for him. Be nice to see him end his career on a high. I think he's an absolute trooper, that guy. SPY finding a little bid here off the 200-day moving average. All right, that's where the SPY is right now. So a little bit of back and forth here. Yeah, he does deserve it. He definitely deserves it. But yeah, I've just got a funny feeling. That French team, they either turn up or they don't they? When they turn up, I think they're capable of beating anyone in the world. When they don't turn up, they just look so average. Julian, caught the short. Runner got stopped out on that pullback earlier. I wonder if my earlier leaving green. Hope you feel better, sir. Are you? Oh, you're leaving the day green. Well, that's good, Julian. That's what you want to do on a Friday. Leave the day green. Like we said, the worst thing about this trade when we were here, thinking about the long, was that we left this resting liquidity. All right, so it became 50-50 at that point. And if I was going to favor it now, I'm going to favor this, aren't I? Because when we should be up here driving, we're not. We're down here looking for this right now by the looks of it. Underneath previous day close, remember now? Underneath previous day close. So all calls are now out the money, right? And they're looking for that rotation into the lows. If we start trading into lows, remember we're going to close low of week. Going to be very, very ugly. Saradi, yeah, apparently so. I'm unable to log into desktop and website. Yeah, this is Tradeovate issues right now. Tradeovate and NinjaTrader issues right now. Everyone's aware of it. They said don't raise a ticket. All the firms are aware of it, so it's just unfortunate. I had it yesterday. Rebuilt my whole bloody NinjaTrader system, and I was probably the first one to get it. It's probably a glitch their end. All right, so the 200-day is holding up here on the SPY. Paul saying Powell speaks in 2 hours. Yeah, we'll be long gone by them. Long gone by them. It does feel like it just wants to trade down into this right now. That's what it feels like it wants to do. Definitely going for those lows. Very, very, very heavy here, market. Wants to come and take out previous day low. That would be low of year as well, remember. Thumper saying, good winner today. I'm out for the day. Time to fly back home. Enjoy the weekend. Hope you're feeling better, Alex. And thank you again for all you do. Hey, you're welcome, Thumper. Great work. Great work nailing that. Great work holding a runner. Sticking to the process. 1% better each day. It's all we're looking to do. If we can get 1% better each day. Muted? I'm not muted my end. Not sure what happened there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you've got 7 minutes left till that initial balance. Current initial balance on the day, 218 points and 1 tick. Remember, we're inside absolutely everything right now. Inside daily, inside hourly, inside overnight, inside. Like a garage MC. Inside. Definitely trying to bid on that 200 day on the SPY. Watching the 5 minute there. Back to PDC on the SPY here. That's where they're trying to bid. Yeah, SPY trying to find a bid there. Maybe a little trade up to view up and then see if sellers come back in there on the ES and the SPY. It's what it looks like right now. They're trying to protect it. You have this sort of channel here. It's going to let me draw it. I don't know. There we go. You have that kind of channel right now. So maybe they try and set something here to go lower. If they don't, come on, let me draw it to go lower. If they don't, and we get acceptance up, we're just going to go back and forth, which is what it looks like it's trying to do constantly today, isn't it? Not very pretty. Not very pretty. So there's VWAP. Watch your ATR as well, folks. These candles are no joke when they get going. So either bear flag here or they're going to start pivoting and going. God, I cannot talk today. Sweating again, my hands are all clammy, gross. So do they break down here and go for that previous day low? It feels like that's what they're trying to do. A bear flag would be nice. Break down towards previous day low. ES rejecting VWAP pretty hard there. Looks good here. Flow zone rejection. You want to see it just trade lower now. You don't want to see it keep catching a bid here. It's like kind of ugly if it keeps doing that. The ranges on these is crazy, like 50 points in a matter of seconds, really, 90 seconds or so. 4 minutes until that initial balance. Starting to get sweaty here. So might be time for me to call it soon. Yeah, still under its VWAP. I fancy this to trade downside to sweep, but It's just, they're not going to make it easy for you, I don't think. They're really not going to make it easy for you. Like bidding on that 200-day, SPY bidding on that PDC, ES bidding on that PDC. We're right at PDC. Like they should just like let it go and go and take liquidity. If they don't take liquidity, it's going to be so ugly. It means you've left liquidity again, both sides. Yeah, so you've left liquidity here and you've left liquidity here again. We should be trading lower here. It should want to move lower here. This is what it should want to do, but should and actually do are not the same thing, right? Should and actually do. Look at that. Building out the liquidity. Lots of back and forth here. What you'd want to see is this, and then once it's done that, it will open up other trades. What you don't want to see is back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. It's definitely a big level here. You can feel it in the tape. Like you can see the wicks both sides. They're not sure. Really just want to see this breakdown, come and attack the lows, go for previous day low, and then you get like more trade setting up at that point. Here we go. Should just run lower now. It should start attacking lower, really. Shouldn't keep fanning around here. There you go. So it's starting to attack lower. This is good. In this short now, looking 930 coming up here. The 930 print. That blue line on the chart, sorry. Oh, just moved that for the folks, didn't I? So remember, this is the open. Don't know why it's not showing it. No, it's not point of control. There we go. So you have to watch that. You want to see this just break down here for continuation. Back to PDL. One minute left until the initial balance is set. You would like that the PDL to be swept, and then you can think about that trade after the IB. Exactly, Peter. That's exactly it. If you sweep it and we turn back inside in the IB and we've only got liquidity left upside, then we know we can go for that move in the initial balance trade. If we don't sweep it, it's going to be hard. Yeah, this is old demand right now, just based on yesterday. All right, so it's not like major higher time frame, but this is old demand based on yesterday. I don't want to be short down here. I want to be thinking about covers in here. And if we get underneath and turn this into red, then we're going to trade down to here and maybe down to here. If we're going to do the IB trade, then what we're going to look for is sweep, failed auction, trade inside, and all the way back up. Or at least all the way back to view up. This is where it should want to go, 20,000. Got only 100 lot down there at 20,000. It's not even like huge size, you know? It's not something down there being like, oh, that's massive, he's going to hold up. Like, it should be trading down there. It shouldn't be struggling really to get down underneath previous day low. And you got to think if it snaps it, it's not that far to the 800s that we talked about. It's really not that far. Yeah, IB now set. Still trading around these levels. You've got to favor more downside here. But watching ES looks a little bit different here. All right, the pivot on ES, it's holding up where it found buyers this morning on the ES and the SPY. All right, so we have relative weakness here in the Qs. Wow, there's the snap. It's starting to run lower now, isn't it? There we go. So previous day low taken. So now I'll be looking for that trade into this green box. All right, so hold runners into this green box. And if you get through there all the way down here, watching the ES, because ES is still yet to take PDL. It's coming for it now. All right, and you've got to be aware of auction versus failed auction now. Your initial balance rules do apply now. These candles are very, very large. Be very, very careful here. Very close to previous day low on the ES and the SPY. Hopefully that paid you guys some good money there. Continuing to break down. There's a buy here at 20k, and then underneath that 950, and we do have levels underneath that, but it's just whether it wants to go. Yeah, Ninja Trader, I'm having issues now as well, trying to move my stop. No, there we go. Jesus Christ. Couldn't move my stop into the money there, so had to close out again. What a nightmare. Yeah, that's it for me. If I can't move my stop on Ninja Trader and stuff, it's a problem. Right, next level we're going to come down for is this down here. Remember, this is a daily and weekly pool. We talked about this right at the beginning of the stream. We're going to go all the way over here from early October. These guys here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lots of wicks in this sort of trend line liquidity, right? Because we've now swept these guys from 1st of November. We can then think about a trade down into here. Once we get down into there, we've got that daily upward trend and the lower bowl. All right, so we're not in ideal short location now. These are areas that we want to be thinking about covering into, right? These guys here, trend line, lower bowl. We're looking at covers into that. You can see these same things on the weekly if it makes it easier. Yeah, weekly imbalance right in here. This all makes sense. From this point, I wouldn't be surprised if we overshoot it and do something like this over the next few weeks and then continue lower for the rest of the year if we're going to actually go into a bearish market. So just be aware of that. Everything we talked about right at the beginning of the show, starting to happen now. It's starting to happen now. So this is the start of these daily levels. This could actually be one giant green box. The reason I didn't do that is because it would be like 200 points big. All right, so this is the start of the green box, start of it, and this is the edge of that daily level, 815. All right, ES now taken previous day low as well. We're underneath that 20,000 level right now. So if we come back and stay heavy versus this, it's going to offer a trade lower. If we start reclaiming, we offer that trade higher. I am done for the day though. When I can't move my stops, it's incredibly annoying. Cost me probably about 300 bucks there. As in I couldn't lock in 300 bucks more there. Wanted to trail and it wouldn't let me on that snap down. So definitely some issues there on Ninja Trader today. Just be careful. You can watch PDL now on the ES as well. Right, we've traded through it and we found a bid. Right, so far now it's coming to backtest previous day low on the ES and the SPY. You have the initial balance all the way up here. So I would say you want to find sellers in and around here if we're going to have that continuation trade down today. If we don't and we get acceptance back into here, that's the squeeze potential. All right, so if shorts get trapped under here and we trade back through, that's squeeze potential. Until then, you should be thinking short bias of how can I get down to this level. So this is literally identical to yesterday, folks. All right, it's exactly the same as yesterday. We went sideways, we left previous day low, we squeezed up. All right, so we left lots of liquidity here. We failed at the highs and we came back for that liquidity to break down. It's exactly the same as yesterday, identical play as yesterday. The only difference was yesterday we did like one of these up here for that played back down. But this weekly candle is looking gross. Gross. You would not want to be a dip buyer in this market right now. Peter, didn't take it. Price messed around too much and I lost interest. Calling it a day. Have a good weekend, everyone. See you Monday. Yeah, see you Monday, Peter. Nothing wrong with that. It didn't fit your parameters. It did juggle around a little bit here, didn't it? That little push up into this imbalance. But it was still bear flag. Profit. Runners now only if you're still in this. Tape starting to thin out here a little bit. Tape starting to thin out. So people are a little bit scared here, I'd say. Probably had a lot of buys in that squeeze this morning where we were. Didn't get to where they want to, and they might have doubled down at the lows, right? Where we're saying, take a partial, hold a runner. They probably doubled down buying this down here, but really the structure has changed by that point. I would double down here if it was holding. And it's their liquidity that got used. This is where they were doubling down. They were bidding and bidding and bidding, looking for this move, and they got stuck and became the liquidity for this move down. All right, so the game of liquidity. The buyers who bought this morning and doubled down here, they became the sellers as we broke underneath their stop. Now we just drift lower. Lack of structure now. You can't be chasing this short side. Even if this goes all day, you cannot chase it short side. You will need some form of structure. All right, I've got SPY can drip down into 568 here on the SPY. We're into some key levels here in the Nasdaq. Remember, this whole thing, I'm going to keep saying, is basically one giant green box on a daily, all right? Because we have those daily wicks. Actually, they're built the other way around. The daily wicks look like this, all right, from 1st of October. All right, so this is what we're going for. We're starting to take out the swing traders from the 1st of October. Just to make that super clear, we're starting to take out these guys here. All right, we're already under this. The next level is to take out these. This is where swing traders stops are from 1st of November. We take that out. I'm not saying we do this today, but this trade is possible. This trade is possible. So that's what I'm thinking at the next few weeks. I'm always thinking ahead. Jeff, with the W still in a runner. Yeah, keep holding that runner, Jeff. If we're going to go into a trending Friday, keep holding that runner. All right, just make sure your stop's in the money. Myron says he was down 200 earlier, up 50 now. It's on a Friday, and I'm out. Have a good weekend, Alex. Hope you feel better. Thank you, Myron. NQ 19,600. Is that your level you're looking at? I'm looking at 19,800 today. If it's going to go lower, 19,800. But we're into a pool of liquidity here. Clint saying Trump talks in 30 minutes. I guess 20 minutes now. I probably missed that. So, yes. The mover and shaker. The market mover talks. Top of the hour. What's he going to say? My favorite word is tariffs. It's a beautiful word. That's why he says it every day a million times. I frankly don't care what he does. I just want him to do something and stick to it so we can trade it a little bit easier. Just stick to your guns, mate. Just whatever you're going to do, just let us price it in the market. Like, just give us a little bit of a breather here in the market. It's been absolutely chaos since he got into control today. Lee Kin, W in that short. At the moment, looking my out at TP. Looking my out TP. I guess looking to hold for your TP. Just keep holding. As we keep drifting down, you can just move your stop in the money. It probably at some point will want to come and back test around here, right? At some point. So you probably don't want to give that whole move back. That's 100 points. Doesn't look like a lot. That's 100 points. So that's $200 per micro or $2,000 per mini. But this is coming in a hurry to this daily pool. This is a big, giant daily pool, remember. So you can just trail, if you wanted, each candle. We are being very, very aggressive here to the downside. Looks very, very good. Oh, auto trade management, Lee Kim. I understand. Nice. Andrew H. Absolutely crushed today. I appreciate you, bro. Feel better. Hey, thank you, Andrew. I'm glad you had a good day. Nothing better than having a good Friday, is there? You go into the weekend, you're like, yes. I can relax all weekend. I traded well on a Friday. Market is just a game of liquidity. All right, we got both sides of it today. We got both sides of it. We got the squeeze up here and here. Failed to get to NFP, unfortunately. And once it failed, there's your break of structure. This became the obvious trade to come back into here and then run us down. Really nicely done. Johnny Bravo, no complaints from me. I'll take these swings, especially gold, which has been giving easy reads for about 2 weeks now. What's gold doing today? I haven't even looked today. Nice fade off the highs. Yeah, gold trying to build out that inverse right shoulder. So it has a possibility of going back for those highs right now. We basically got a flat top on gold up there at 973. 2,973. So if it can get going through 940s, it's got that slingshot move to 973. If it fails 940s, if it grabs and fails, then I'd say I'd start watching out, because then that supply gets confirmed and it will run for that 840 low. But so far looks good. Ironclader, I am good. Made some burrito money today. Hey, burrito Fridays. I'll take it. Do I live near Speedway? I don't know. I don't think so, because I don't know where Speedway is. I live near Venice and Santa Monica. Pat, first time joining me today. How am I marking out those liquidity pools? Higher time frame. All right, always higher time frame. So on the daily chart, I'm looking at areas of old support and resistance where we had big market participants. So if you think about this area right here, all right, this was support for the drive up, and then it became resistance for the drive down, and then it became resistance again, and then we got back over it and it became support again. So this level here, I know, is huge. This, yeah? And then we can refine that and think, okay, if I was a bull in that level, because we've driven away from it, where would my stop be? All right, so I was probably participating as a bull in here. All right, so we have this wick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 wicks here showing that bulls were trying to participate for this move up, and we've never come back to test it. So this is where their liquidity pool is, right? Which means these bulls here, they will want to hold price here. If the market's going to be nasty, it's going to make sure these guys lose. How do we make sure these guys lose? We go through them first. If we go through them first, we have this trend line. We start recovering, or we overshoot the trend line, overshoot the Bollinger Band, start recovering. Then we can think about that slingshot trade upside, because if we look at what we've done on the daily, we've never given that mean reversion since the sell. So I would not be surprised to see us take these guys out. This doesn't have to happen today. Maybe overshoot that, and maybe we do something like this over the next month or so. Mean reversion back in. I guess by then it would be down here. And then we come back and we retest the lows. Now, at this point, if we're going to be bullish for the remainder of the year, we're going to have to hold that and go upside. If we break the lows, then we go full bear market, and we are going way, 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 way down. Those are the options. Too early to say which we do, but what I would say is it's fairly guaranteed, unless something changes, is we will do something like this at some point to set a lower high. Because the daily, we haven't set that lower high yet to retest and break structure to go lower. So at some point soon, we're into that big level. At some point soon, we're going to do that. All right, we can think about it even if we're going to go from pivots. If we think of this as a pivot to the high of a pivot, we're at that 50%. There's so much confluence here, right? We've got trendline liquidity. We've got daily and weekly Bollinger Bands. We're at 50%. We've got an old RBS level, all right? There's lots and lots and lots of reasons to think somewhere around here we're going to find some bids, all right? If you're a fib trader, you're probably going to start covering. If you're a daily Bollinger Band or a weekly Bollinger Band trader, you're probably going to start covering. If you're a trendline trader, you're probably going to start covering. If you're someone playing off support and resistance and liquidity, you're probably going to start covering. When we start covering a short, what do? We move upside, right? So that's kind of why. That's the confluence of seeing the pool of liquidity and other reasons. And there you go. So trying to find a little bit of a bid here. Like I said, it's likely to back test 20,000 previous day low and the initial balance, right? And if we're going to stay heavy here, then we can think about a move back down to the low, break a structure even lower. If we're going to start reclaiming the initial balance, right? If we're going to reclaim in there, what do? We get a failed auction and we go back upside towards VWAP. And then through that, all the way to IB high as possible. But so far, just very, very, very heavy. Look at the signatures. I want you to learn the signatures. This, same as this, right? When we build liquidity like that, that's not very good bearish liquidity. Remember, we want to build bearish liquidity this way to go lower. When you see liquidity built like this straight down, you know there's going to be a reversal because they're going to come and take out late shorts in the market. When we see liquidity like this, you know there's going to be a reversal, going to come and take out the late bulls in the market. So learn the signatures. The market's giving you signatures all the time. It's showing you its hand, right? It's playing poker not very well sometimes. That's a good signature. March seasonality tends to turn bullish second half of the month. Yeah, like I've been looking at that, and I was also thinking like April, May. It might be a bit later this year, but we just have to see. There's so many unknowns seasonality-wise. Is there noise coming through the mic? Well, there's people doing work outside this morning. I can hear them, so it might be that. Sorry if that's happening. Hopefully that helped, Pat. Did that make sense? Ramus, great day for me. 3 wins and done, but I hung around. Your insight is valuable. A, look at that compared to yesterday, right? What did we say yesterday? Tomorrow's a new day. Let it go. We come back and go again. Nice work. Nice work. I'm going to stay around a little bit longer, folks, and then I'm going to get off. I'm dripping with sweat here. Not very nice. So apologies. If I get my words muddled up, the irony. If I get my words muddled up, that's probably why. Here you go. So there's the squeeze. Look at that trigger. All right. So here's the squeeze off the higher time frame demand pool. Remember I was saying we don't want to get short down here. We expect it to trade higher. Now it's reclaiming everything, right? So you got a big short covering rally there. Maybe news driving this as well. I'm not sure. I'm going to have a look in a minute. Now, what liquidity have we left? All right. We have left these guys, haven't we? We've left. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Let's undo that. We've left the NFP short and this guy up here. So if the market gets going here, we go all the way back for that. That will be range rotation. What range rotation that would be? Failed auction. Short stuck under here. Reclaim, 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 and we go back upside. All right, so the market's offering lots and lots of things right now because we're in range rotation with breakout short stuck. If you are a breakout short underneath weekly low, previous day low, and you did not take profit in here, you just got stuck. So you will cause this squeeze up. All right, so we're always looking for those breakouts, not necessarily to take them, to understand people's pain point. Those little mini lessons are always good. Thanks. Green Day. Hope you feel better over the weekend. Thank you, Capt. No worries, Johnny. So Fed talker. That's what everyone's saying. Fed speaker now going. Let's have a little look at what's being said here in the news blotter. There are no signs of inflation expectations being unmoored. Data shows a lag before inflation shock hits. Short-term expectations. Inflation expectations back to pre-pandemic levels. Putin is said to be ready to agree a Ukraine truce with conditions. That just hit the wire now as well. So you've got lots of things hitting the wire at once. Fed Williams does not comment on monetary policy or the economic outlook. That's interesting because you've just commented, Fed Williams, on inflation. Isn't that economic outlook? Anyway, the USTR is holding its hearing March 11th on China semiconductor policies. There's lots of news hitting the wire all at once here. So you got Putin news, you got Fed Williams news. I'm guessing you got Trump in 10 minutes as well. So just be smart, guys. Be smart. All right. Don't go doing anything silly. Be smart. Yeah, I just see that as well. Ironcladder war agreement. All right, so it came back up. A little overshoot here. Here's PDC. Remember, it will need to reclaim this if it's going to get bullish. You'd need to use this liquidity here if it's really going to get going. I would personally, I'd probably sit out of this. If you've got that many, you've got a Fed speaker, you've got Trump, and you've got Putin news hitting the wire at once, I'd be very, very cautious. I definitely wouldn't be thinking short anymore right now. I'd just wait. Let it show you what it wants to do if it's going to get going. You're starting to pivot here. This is starting to build liquidity that you want to see for the move up. But if it keeps rejecting in here, right, we can back test this, see if buyers come back in there. If they don't come back in there, we go lower. But this is very much like yesterday. I want you to look at this again. Drift down, pump at the open, failure, come back for the low, back test in. Look at yesterday. It's exactly the same. Drift down, pump back in, failure, come back for the low, back test. Look familiar? It's the same. It's the same pattern. Market does the same thing over and over again. Once you learn to see it, it becomes a bit easier. Okay, ES rejecting VWAP, SPY rejecting VWAP, also rejecting PDC. We didn't quite get there on the Qs, but the ES did. So it's coming back to PDL now. Now, it's got to make a decision soon on what it's going to do. Either these shorts get stuck and we squeeze upside, or we start breaking structure. I would not be playing this with that much news hitting the wire. Your ATR is massive. Look on this candle here, 933. Well, it's like an 80-point candle, and the next one, 110-point candle or something per 1 minute. We're starting to build liquidity here. It's looking for relief. It's looking for a relief rally higher now. Personally, I'm not touching this. Like, your ATR is massive, moving very, very fast. Book probably can thin out as well the more that they talk. We have left liquidity at those highs. So if it starts reclaiming, because we're already reclaiming IBL here, if we start reclaiming key levels, if we start turning old resistance into support, we can go back for the IB high. And if we get through that, we're going to go back for the NFP. Otherwise, we can keep failing into these levels. We know this is a big pool of liquidity. Remember, this is where demand was earlier. This is currently holding as resistance. Let's just delete that. Right, this here. Broke through it. What is this? Support becomes resistance. Here was your support. Right now, it's becoming resistance. We get over it, we open that. Until then, this is still possible for a retest of here. I know when I draw it might look messy, but hopefully it makes sense. Christian Fauna, I don't know what all those things mean, but they look cool. All your emojis. Crying, sunglasses, and then is that a whale? I don't know. I don't know what all those things mean. All right, 5 more minutes, folks, and then you're just gonna keep doing them. 5 more minutes, and then I'm gonna get off, team. Hopefully, most of you should have had some nice winners today. The long this morning, and then the short back down, holding the runner to go lower. You should be out of that now because we're retesting those levels, and now we just wait. Wipe on, wipe off. I just try and, like, when I trade or when I'm here, I'm trying to provide you with some education as well. So you're not just following me into trade, so that you can understand how and why the market moves. And if you want to understand in more detail, there is a course that you could do. Right? So I do have a 20-hour course, and with that, you get my flow zone indicator, everything you see on the chart here. And the Discord for free. So it's just a one-time fee. Thanks, TR. Jeff, thanks, Alex. 3 W's for the day. Off to work. Have a great weekend. And you, Jeff. Great work. Red Don made some money. Love to hear it. I love to hear you guys winning. Nothing makes me happier. And it's the same people. I always say this all the time, but it is. It's the same people who have found consistency, who are either doing the course or turning up every day or both. And they're finding consistency in the charts because they've got a set way of trading and you just stick to it. You stick to your rules. So far, we cannot get a close above that initial balance. Clint saying, do the course. It's great. Hey, thanks, Clint. Mr. Slim with the W. Trentry, get well. I'm learning from your live, including the course as well. I don't like feeling sick. Get well soon. Yeah, it sucks. Thank you, Trentry. Have a great weekend. All the SPY per open interest is at 575 for today's expiries. Quite a lot higher, isn't it? Back up towards IB. So new buyer on the tape now. 19,850. All right, there's 180 lot down there. That will take us back down to the bottom of this range. I'm going to keep telling you, this is basically one huge daily pool of liquidity. All right, but this is the very edge of it. He's just got an order in here. Right, he's got a resting order there. So he's hoping that there's a rejection here and a break of structure to come and pick him up. No long trigger here. You will need closes above and to prove itself for you. So far, no long trigger. What you can do, all right, if you wanted to, what you could do is do a pin anchor view up off this low, which we're currently holding. So everyone who bought this low, right, this is their average price right now. They're looking to trade this higher, right? They're looking to trade this higher at the moment. But technically, you're up against IB. You're up against this level here that we failed from. Once you reclaim that, it's going to become easier. As a reminder, you've got Trump talking, you've got Putin news, and you've got a Fed speaker all at once right now. Christian, if you keep doing that, I'm just going to ban you because you're just offering nothing right now. Was watching oil when it went nuts on the Putin news, did it? Let's have a look at CL. Oh, yeah. Jeez. Big old wick down. Big old wick down. You're on timeout, mate. Sorry about that, but I warned you. Don't spam the chat with your nonsense. It was funny for a second, and then it just got stupid. Okay, so you're seeing across the board here on the spiders, on ES, on the NQ, that old support becoming resistance, right? So on the spiders, you're seeing it from sort of 720 up to VWAP 745. The ranges are big right now. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. So you've got to manage your size and your risk. They want to trade upside, but like we said, they have not got through these levels yet. Right? So far, sellers are holding these levels. Right, where we broke down from. We start. This is what they're trying to do. They want to reclaim this and go, but they haven't reclaimed it. All right. So what they want to do and what they have done are two different things. They want to try and get up here to force a big squeeze out. Failure to do that opens the door for a retest of this low. Break of structure here should then take you down even further and deeper into that daily pool. But I'm not interested in being short anywhere in here today. No way. That's so far extended on multiple time frames. The best short of the day was arguably this, but it wasn't confirmed. But this was confirmed, which is why we took it. Yeah, exactly, Nate. That's why we sit out. let it dictate to you when it's ready. You've got a new hourly bar here as well. Again, that hourly bar is still technically inside the range for now. So if we look at the hourly bar, right, this is hourly range, failed outside. We have a long wick, but so far it's failed. All right, so if we trade inside, we can keep doing this. If it gets confirmation, we can trade down to those 800s that we talked about. So yeah, they're not making it easy for you guys this morning, that's for sure. They're not making it easy for you on Freaky Friday. So far, that supply holding up, flow zones holding up, that 9:30 morning print holding up, VWAP holding up, downside pressure continues, but do buyers come in and absorb somewhere in this last move? Are buyers able to come in here and try and find a higher low to then do that? We know this is a daily level here. This is the top of that daily level. It's the bottom of the daily level. So if this was an overshoot and a pullback in and they hold this, this is possible. But if there are no willing buyers here, right, and if there's no short covering, more to the point, because I don't think many people are actually buying, if there's no short covering down here, then we're just going to keep drifting lower. $2.2 on the day, up $200. I'll call it a day. Yeah, nice clip. So good work. Blue 1 funded account and 2 funded to pay out. Going to call it a day for Friday. Hey, I'm sorry to hear that, RSG. Maybe just, I don't know if that was all in one trade or a number of them together. Maybe a little bit oversized in this market. Market's very, very aggressive. It's not kind with your stops, so you got to size right down in this market. We talked about candles like this, 100-point candles. No one can sit through that pain, right? No one can sit through that pain. So they're trying to hold this right now. It's still not bullish, right? But they're trying to create bullish structure. They are trying to create bullish structure to open this up. That's what they're trying to do. I'm going to call it a day here, folks, because I think if I get off now, I can get a good day's rest. Far more likely I'm 100% by Monday and we're going to go again. All right, so I'm done for the day. What I'd be looking at, that bullish play, if you're looking for that counter trend, if it sets up, until that point, you cannot be bullish. All right, until we clearly reclaim key levels, you cannot be bullish for this move. Until then, you've got to assume that every drive is for a move back down into here, but do not get short in the hole. Don't be these guys here who got short in the hole. All right, just let it confirm for you. The best trades on the day so far have been and gone. They were the squeeze up and this down, and we got them. Now, we're into news cycle. You've got an hour before lunch. We are, just make sure you keep zooming out. It's one thing I'd say. Make sure you keep zooming out. We're so extended on the daily. Let's think about this on a weekly. We're on the weekly Bollinger Band. Right? We're on key levels. Look at the trend. I would not want to be a new short down here. The best shorts were up here and up here and up here. Don't be a new short down here and get stuck. I'm not saying it does that move today. It's basically impossible for it to do that move. But I'm just saying, don't initiate new positions when we're extended on higher time frames. All right. Don't be trying to force your way into the market to go lower. Thanks everyone for joining me today. And again, I'm sorry I wasn't here yesterday. Just I really couldn't do it. I was so sick yesterday. It was horrible. And I'll be back on Monday. If I get time, I might do a little educational video over the weekend. We'll go back again on Monday. Those in Discord, I'll try and pop in later. I'm probably honestly just going to take a little break here. This was careful not pushing it too hard too quickly. And we go again then, all right? We always start pre-market on Monday, 10-15 minutes before the New York Open. We go over the high time frame. We go over what we're looking at, the possible plays setting up for the day, and then we get into it. If you're interested, the link is down below. You can do my course. All right, it's a one-time fee, $649. You get the flow zones, you get the Discord, and you get a 20-hour on-demand course. And don't forget, until the end of the month, Traderify has its sale. All right, 30% off all of the 25K, 100K, and 150K accounts. So that includes like the growth accounts, the director funding, the advanced accounts, but 35% off the 50Ks. Never been a better time to do a 50K one. And other than that, There is also a 80% sale right now in Apex. I think it ends next week, end of next week, something like that. Anyway, peace and love. Be kind to each other. Please use hard stops in this market. You must use hard stops. I'll see you Monday.